My name is Ralph Whittle, and I want to spend the next 10 minutes explaining the value of the course titled Building a Business Architecture Using Value Chains and Value Streams. For the purposes of this webinar, let me describe the business architecture in conversational terms as a blueprint of the enterprise built using architectural disciplines to improve performance. This class and the building of an architecture of the business are the first basic steps taken in a strategic business architecture initiative. Today, many companies are considering whether or not to undertake a business architecture initiative. Many strategic research and service firms have recognized the importance of linking the business architecture to the strategy and integrating the business architecture with its supporting IT architectures in an architecture framework. These firms have frequently reported on the business architecture's increasing value to successful companies and provided sound reasons for undertaking the initiative. But this does not make it a sure thing for the enterprise. So why is a business architecture initiative an important one, and why should you consider this business architecture class? The first question to ask is, do you want to bring the extended enterprise environment to within your corporate leadership's sphere of economic influence? This extended enterprise environment consists of the customers, partners, vendors, suppliers, and competitors. Some might characterize this environment as a business web, as defined by Don Tapscott in his book, Digital Capital. A business web is a new business form brought about by the information age. Fluid congregations of businesses, sometimes highly structured, sometimes amorphous, that come together on the internet to create value for customers and wealth for their stakeholders. If the answer to this question is yes, then the Business Architecture Initiative makes sense, and this class is an excellent place to start. In order to develop this sphere of economic influence, corporate leadership must have an integrating capability for the enterprise's components, processes, and services. It must have a foundational architecture, the business architecture, which is the hierarchical parent from which all of the logical enterprise architectures are derived. In order to build a value-creating system for your enterprise with the same architectural elegance found in many distinguished buildings and structures, you must begin with the business architecture. Otherwise, you wind up with a run-down, poorly designed structure, weak at its foundation, and unable to adapt to ever-changing business environments. You can overcome these problems and inherent design flaws with the business architecture. As an enterprise business architect, I have built real-world business architecture models in various industries. For example, manufacturing, healthcare, and financial services. On the subject of business architecture, I'm a published author and co-inventor of a patented strategic business IT planning framework, which included my business architecture approach. In the one-day training class, I introduced the concepts and principles of a business architecture. I explain how you can take your existing business process models, integrate them, and expand them to create a business architecture. The business architecture is key to the next logical evolution of business process management, and the attendees will see how the business architecture provides an integration capability between their business process management, service-oriented architecture, and enterprise architecture initiatives. The business architecture is a key enabler to innovative thinking and creating new ideas for development into strategic initiatives which will transform the enterprise and extend its sphere of economic influence. The business architecture sees the whole enterprise as an integrated system of related components, processes, and services, not as independent, isolated functional activities. Viewing and managing the enterprise in functional isolation will lead to inefficiencies, higher costs, unhappy customers, and ultimately to chaos. The enterprise is not about managing chaos, but it is about connectivity and causality, and understanding those relationships to both internal and external factors that lead to a competitive advantage. This connectivity, causality, and understanding are found in the business architecture, a unifying structure which enables the execution of the strategy through its initiatives to achieve predictable results. The most interesting aspect of the class is a review of a business architecture case study and all of its supporting models. I take the students through a business architecture model illustrating the integration and connectivity of the business architecture that is also available on the web for additional review and analysis after class. Students will also see how to link the business architecture with the strategy and its supporting initiatives, ensuring a strategy to results approach. Perhaps your company is analyzing the operational effectiveness and strategic positioning of its core business processes that are sometimes called value streams. These value streams are end-to-end collections of activities that creates a result for a customer with a clear goal of delighting the customer. When analyzing the business architecture containing the integrated value streams, you will gain the keen insight and understanding necessary to determine strategic initiative priorities based on predictable results. The attendees will see how to view the enterprise from a customer-centric perspective and how to think holistically, expanding their understanding up from the typical functional organizational grouping of processes. The business architecture value streams are vividly illustrated in the case study review. Viewed through the integrated value streams found in the business architecture, all components, processes, and services appear to coexist, and through diligent management and analysis of statistical data can co-evolve into a more effective, efficient, and predictable enterprise-level result or outcome. This is at the heart of systems thinking, viewing the enterprise as a whole and not as a collection of loosely associated functional parts. A business architecture with well-understood value streams and accurate metrics and measures from the strategy enable you to do this kind of analysis and leads to innovative thinking. The business architecture illustrates all of the touch points with other processes and activities, providing you with the insight to truly evaluate and predict the impact on the enterprise and enabling you to improve enterprise performance. I have been extremely fortunate to have several attendees from my classes who were most pleased with its format and content. In some cases, they were considering a business architecture initiative, but were unsure as to the nature of this undertaking. I believe this training class was most beneficial to these attendees as it clearly illustrated what a real business architecture looks like and how to use it to improve corporate performance. In other cases, the attendees were struggling internally with the concept of a business architecture. They most likely would have developed the same concepts and principles as I did. However, with this training class, they were able to jumpstart their business architecture initiative by referencing my class, book, white papers, and various articles published on the businessarchitectureinstitute.org website. With a shared strategic vision and committed support, the Business Architecture Initiative will create an innovative business model, build the enterprise of the future, and deliver lasting success. In summary, I hope you agree that a well-defined and understood business architecture is a valuable tool for supporting your corporate strategy. The business architecture provides a complete and holistic view of the enterprise, far more than provided by a couple of functions, key organizations, or independent processes. It enables the analysis of causality, providing the ability to see how and where other core processes are impacted and what results the strategic initiatives will have on the whole enterprise. It sees the enterprise in terms of what it produces and delivers to its customers, an understanding not available if viewed functionally. These are important and necessary for corporate success, improving enterprise performance, and extending your enterprise's sphere of economic influence. I want to thank you for listening to this webinar and hope you consider attending my training class at one of this year's conferences. I look forward to meeting you in an upcoming class. This class is held as part of bpminstitute.org's Certificate of Training program. Please visit the website for more details and to register for this course.